Hey Sages, and welcome to your January 2019 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for this impeccable month ahead for you. We've got to get activated in the way that we need to be. Something in the energetic activation is lagging. I feel there's a bit of a lag in where you need to be. There's a bit of a lag in where you saw yourself being. You're coming out of December, I feel, Sagittarius, kind of curious as to why you acted a certain way, or curious as to why a certain old habitual pattern of coping has reemerged, and curious as to why you feel that your path is so cold and barren right now when you know that something great is on the horizon, and you know that Jupiter is in your sign, and you know that you have more control than you're giving yourself credit for. You are becoming strong once more in the month of January. So I feel for those of you that have had health problems, or for those of you that have had emotional unwellness or relationship unwellness, I feel you to be growing strength from that. And I feel the universe to not at the same time be too forgiving for a lot of pain that you might inflict on yourself. So we've got to come into January as Sagittarius with an awareness of what needs to heal, with an awareness of who is at fault, an awareness of why we feel the way that we do, and a game plan of how to start to solve those qualms. I'm hoping that around late December you had like a moment of clarity, Sagittarius, where you like sat up, you looked around, and you realized, I don't have to be in this trauma cycle. I don't have to be caught in this constraining paradigm of like always feeling pulled down. You know, Saturn was in your sign just a year ago, and some of you are still recovering. I mean, Sagittarius energy has been kind of like a Scorpio energy and Aries and Taurus energy and Capricorn energy. It's been really, really activated. So yes, Jupiter is benevolent. It is a lucky energy, but just to have another expansion of your energy after having such a constraint over the last few years can just really bring to the surface any type of issue or any type of misalignment. It can be really, really obvious in this time. And that's really the main message I feel for January in 2019 for Sagittarius is misalignments will be like vividly and viscerally obvious. So anything that's out of whack, any type of like underlying health issue, any type of coping mechanism that is unhealthy, any type of really delicate ego will be really, really obvious to yourself and perhaps other people as well. It's not a time where you can necessarily have a relationship that you're not giving your all to, or a relationship that you're coping in a really unhealthy way with. The universe is quick to take things away if they're not satisfactory, or quick to remove obstacles which can block you or inhibit you in the future. So this period of time that I've been talking about for you all, from like your birth, your sun times, like November, December, and January, is all about removing and letting go of what prevents you from accepting and taking in this incredible benevolent Jupiter energy. Okay, so that can sometimes be hard when we have false attachments, or we have fear of being with ourselves, or fear of being in our own vulnerability. During that time, we develop false attachments to things which cover up those wounds falsely, and then the universe realizes that that's an obstacle, it takes it away, and then we associate those things with something that we really needed, when in reality they were inhibiting us. So this is such a time, Sagittarius, to not be too worried about loss, or to not be too worried about what's popping up suddenly, or to just be too concerned with things like coasting, being natural, not like overemphasizing or over planning or predicting your actions or your reactions to things. Allow yourself to be easy. You know, you love this person who's in your life. Like, do you love them? That's great. Interact with them. See how things go. Don't be afraid to like make a move. Don't be afraid to, be honest about how you feel about things. And then when you do those things, how do they react? Like, do you see them like really lashing out at you, or you see them not prioritizing you, or not really being able to even comprehend where you're coming from and getting like really hurt about things? It's time to move along if that's the case. It's time to, it's okay to try to fix things. It's okay to try to address things. But Sagittarius is not great right now for like a constant sense of like, we cannot work through this. Like, we're having these constant repetitive themes and issues. Sagittarius has to really be able to meet halfway, really has to be able to give and take during this time in a healthy way. So if you're giving too much to a relationship or taking too much from a relationship, it's really easy to see those things slip away right now, which is ultimately going to be a good thing, because then you'll be able to, do the things that you actually need to do with your life right now. It's also possible in January to finally overcome something. So for those of you who are coupled and have this relationship that I'm talking about, where it's like we just cannot come to a middle ground, we are not, neither of us are being satisfied, type of thing. January is still a month where you can overcome that. You can heal from that. You can find the path and the give and take that really works well. But January is about the last month where you can. That's the tough point. If things cannot really be figured out here and resolved here. And what I mean by that is if you, Sagittarius, cannot come to a place of feeling benevolent, happy, unworried, unfearful, trusting, if you cannot come to a place where you're trusting in January, then you've got to really, by around February, be able to think about what's on the line here and be able to think about what you're doing with yourself. But no, January is still a wonderful opportunity for healing and a wonderful opportunity for rising above and creating a really good template for your relationship or your career. But I would hope that you can find the strength to do that and find the strength to place yourself into that healthy template first and foremost. So really doing unto others as you would like them to do to you. Really being what you want, like creating what you want from the inside out, and not being fearful, not seeking problems, not seeking to find what's wrong or criticize or things like that. It's not a good thing for Sagittarius right now. So finding joy, gratitude, and strength within, and really seeing like, okay, yeah, I couldn't sleep that entire night because I was scared that the person that I love doesn't love me or something, and I just couldn't sleep because I was having like a panic response to all of that. There has to be, again, like I'm saying, this moment of clarity where you look around and you're like, why wouldn't I let myself sleep? Or why would I take from myself? Like, that fear may be valid, that fear may be real, but that fear in and of itself takes so much from me. Why would I then, put some gasoline on that fire? It's a month where I do feel you can add like gasoline to fire. So that's great for like an entrepreneurial endeavor, or that's great for, really jumping into like a new exercise regimen or something. But watch out for that when it comes to emotions, or when it comes to like pain in relationships or anything like that. Like, your temper can be on the edge this month. Also, you can just push yourself really far with that and make yourself feel worse about things than you have to. But you don't have to do that. It's all very chosen. That's another thing that I feel about Sagittarius energy right now. The way that we're feeling, the environment that we have, the job that we're in, it's very chosen right now. So you have the opportunity to change that if you don't like it. I don't feel that it's a time where Sagittarius is really pigeonholed into one like box. Like, if you don't like the career, it feels like you can choose to make a change. If you don't like the relationship, it feels easy to choose to make a change, or to choose like to heal it, to especially choose to like change yourself within the relationship, or to really be able to bring it to your partner's attention in a way that makes sense to them, and like being like choosing to articulate a problem in a really healing and upstanding way, and then following through with that, like, okay, I've been upstanding, I've articulated this in a way, if I can articulate, I've articulated this problem in a way that I feel benefits both of us, and if you can't work with that, then we have to think about what to do next. Like, that type of thing really shows you doing a lot of ascension and empowerment for yourself right now, for sure. Also, a great month to have a lot of things on your plate, actually, Sag. Like, you can do a lot this month. You can have a big schedule. You can have a lot of appointments. You can have a lot of jobs, and you will have the strength and resolve to do that. It does feel like making more money right now is a good idea. It feels like funding your year, or funding, a new savings account or something, is a wonderful energetic cleanser for you right now as well. So think about how you can be busy in a healthy way, and how you can be like eating healthy, exercising healthy, and supporting that template and structure. For some of you, it's with entrepreneurial endeavors, which is really supported for Sagittarius right now. This entire year is great for entrepreneurship. It's great for a new business or for a new creative project. Jupiter in your sign is one of the best times to start that. So think about maybe, I can get up an hour earlier and stay up an hour later to work on that before I go to my job, or after I'm at home from my job. It feels really fun for Sag to take on those types of things right now, for sure. But anyway, Sagittarius, I'm going to go ahead and get into the week to week for you. Let's see what's coming up. In the first week of January, you have Death rooted down by Two of Cups reversed. I'm not worried about that Death card for you. I'm not worried about the endings that it might represent, but you might feel a little bit worried about it. You might be coming out of December and you're like, wow, is everything over? Is everything that I've worked for in this relationship for a lot of you, is that over? Because it's rooted down by Two of Cups reversed. So something that really represents a strong, strong sense of love and connection for you feels like it's in an ending phase. So yes, you can have a breakup during that time, but also I feel that the majority of you actually can solve whatever it is that is contributing to Two of Cups feeling reversed. So that really strong sense of connection feeling reversed, and what stimulus creates that, what experiences create that, can die off. Okay, so it's really either way. And this is a period of time, I feel, in the first week of January where you choose between honoring your ego or honoring this connection that you have. And again, this is kind of a message for coupled Sagittarius. You have the opportunity to end the relationship or end what is dooming the relationship, basically. And that crossroads is going to be very obvious in the first week. And it's surprisingly easy for Sag to make the decision to end the relationship. It does seem like some of you are making that decision. It's about half and half, it actually feels like. So think about it, though, and think about moving into January. Do I want this to end? Does this feel like an obstacle to me? Does it need to end? Is this something that's not working for me? Or is this something that is much better than I might be giving it credit for? Is this something that has helped me a lot? It can really go either way, to like either extreme, and it's going to be important for you all to have clarity regarding that. For my single Sages out there, I feel like it's going to be the end to singleness for a lot of you. So finally, like, you've been not really in a loving way lately. It feels like if you've been single, and it feels like dating has been a bit of a tragic experience, or you've just not really had time for it, or you've not been craving it. Two of Cups reversed is kind of about, I'm not interested in love right now. Love is something that kind of scares me a little bit, and it's time consuming, and I have other things to focus on. That you can see that whole paradigm that you were in starting to fall away, and you can see yourself wanting to date again, or you can see yourself not being held back by something that prevented you. So yes, it's a great time, especially after the first week, to start meeting new people, or to start really connecting with new people if you're single. And for those of you who are not really sure about relationships, period, like I feel like quite a few Sages are just kind of like, it's a blurry area right now. You've got to allow an ending phase to happen of some kind in your life before love really becomes an easy magnetic thing. There's just something that's really weighing you down and keeping people sort of away from you right now, and I feel that ends in the first week. Week number 2, you have Two of Pentacles rooted down by Five of Pentacles. I love it. Like, so many of the readings this month have like matched up week numbers with card numbers. Week number 2 having Two of Pentacles. It's a good synchronicity for you. It means that you're in stronger alignment, and I feel that it means that Two of Pentacles is even stronger. So some of you are working 2 jobs. Some of you are trying to make that tough decision about what your path is entailing right now. Some of you are like, am I moving? Am I going out of the country? Am I making a big change? Am I accepting a new person into my life? Or am I staying and not accepting a new person into my life? Or am I accepting this new career into my life? Or am I holding true to what I've been doing for a long time? You are juggling like a decision-making process in that week. And with it being rooted down by Five of Pentacles, you're concerned about the logistics of things. You're concerned about how expensive is this move going to be? How much of a pay cut can I take by changing this career? How much capital am I going to invest in this business? It's really strong, like how much you're concerned about the universe supporting you, which I'm a bit curious about, Sag. You're one of the most supported signs right now, and there's like this fear to be supported, or there's this really, really strong fear that if you take a risk or if you take a chance, that the universe won't be there for you. For calculated risks right now, Sag, it's really good. If they're calculated, later this year you can be a bit less calculated with them, but as we're building, start to realize that the universe supports you. So, if you have everything, if you have like the money and the job and the relationship, it's easy to see yourself losing it and fear that, not because you'll actually lose it, but just because the more that you get, sometimes the more that you fear it being taken. That's kind of a Scorpio thing as well, but you're the sign right after that, so you kind of try to overcome that. You kind of try to overcome these types of fears. And the second week is all about that. It's like we're switching up. We're switching up, having the incredible bank account for having the incredible house. Or we're switching up having the incredible relationship for the next stage in the career. It's not that you have to have one or the other, but it's like your focus starts to shift up in that time, and you're trying to balance everything. You're trying to carry everything. And maybe there's a bit too much pressure there. How can you take a bit of pressure off? I feel that you see that in the third week with the Emperor reversed, rooted down by Ace of Wands reversed. So you're not feeling like your energy is having the appropriate channel. So maybe some of you have like, used to been running a mile a day for a long time, but you've had like an ankle injury or something. There's a sense of like really wanting to channel energy, but not having the means to do it the way that you want. I feel that some of you are quite pent up energetically, and there needs to be some kind of release, but that channel of release is harder to find during that time, but it's coming soon. I feel it very strongly that it's coming soon. There's something really important for Sagittarius to see in not having a vessel of energy channeling, or like not just having an easy, sudden like ability to channel all the energy that they want. Like, what are you doing when you have all of that energy? Like, does it need to be spent in some other way? Is the universe maybe trying to tell you like, okay, you've been overtraining, you've been running too much, you've been pushing it too hard, and you need to channel some of that energy into your health or into your budgeting or whatever it is. The Emperor reversed can suggest to me that the executive decisions we're making in our lives, our sovereign and choices and free will over our lives, that's a little bit skewed, that's a little bit reversed. So we're using our personal power in a way that isn't really to our greatest benefit in health. And with Ace of Wands reversed, I feel like it has to do with creative energy and like libido as well. It can be for some of you. So you can have a strong libido during this time, and you can also channel that destructively if not careful. So think about how you can obviously channel that energy, but also channeling that feeling of being pent up into something that is really helpful and really creative into your life, like really perhaps making a change or building something to be stronger. And this has been a theme that's come up for a lot of signs this month. Like I would urge you to watch Leo's reading, especially if you have Leo in your chart, to understand more about that. I go more in depth into these weird like libido, damaging energetic spectrums that have emerged ever since Jupiter hit that cusp of Scorpio and Sagittarius. And it's a topic that I have to kind of be careful with because YouTube has weird rules about it, and I think that video probably got flagged already anyway. But I can make like more specific videos about it on Patreon. I might actually make that a project for February. But yeah, we're having a transformation of like libido energy, root chakra energy, and the way that we express sexually during this time that is undergoing a major paradigm shift. So it can be daunting, and it can cause a lot of like trauma to emerge, because when people can't interpret their like lower chakral energies very well, and work with the lower brain in a more what do I want to say, like in a way that's aware, that where there's some amount of awareness, you can see a lot of pain and trauma emerge into your life. So it may be a series that I actually work on in February after I finish the 2019 year aheads, which should be done after the new year. But it's definitely so relevant right now, and I know that all the fire signs for sure are feeling it. But check out Leo's reading to understand more about that. But yeah, for the third week for you, Sag, there's something relating to libido and healing your own root chakra energy during that time, and healing perhaps old sexual trauma or old sexual wounds. That definitely comes up during the third week of January, so be open to that. It's also a good time to maybe get a private reading with me during that time if I'm available. I might not be doing too much in January, I'm not sure yet. But to have some type of therapy or some type of counseling with someone who is open and not worried about those types of subjects, such as myself, is perhaps a really healing thing for Sagittarius to like get you ready to jump into this like really benevolent Jupiter time. But you can check the description box below, and I'll have the link for private readings with me if I'm available. Also, you can like email me. I'll have it all down below. Like if I'm sold out, or if I'm like taking a break, and I'll like try to get you scheduled for the future. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling, guys. I'm sorry about it. But yeah, third week, really important for you. Really important for the rest of your year, actually, the second half of January, and really getting your energy into a place where it's like fluidly fluctuating in a healthy way, and like not being scared and not feeling guilt or things like that, for sure. Week number 4, you have that incredible Six of Wands reversed, rooted down by the Magician reversed. You're afraid you're being lied to, you're afraid that you're being tricked, you're afraid that you're being deceived, or you're afraid that your personal power is not enough. You're afraid that you're not powerful enough, which is the exact untruth right now, because you have so much power, you have so much sway right now, Sag, that it starts to kind of collapse and like implode if you're not careful. The Magician reversed is one of my least favorite archetypes, actually. It's always chaotic, it's always tricky, it's always like gestury. There's something gestury about it, and it reminds me of the Mercury retrograde that we had in December. I meant to talk about it earlier, Sages, but oh my god, that Mercury retrograde in your sign and back into Scorpio. Was December not one of the most chaotic and like Nine of Swords, like I don't know what to do, like even like paranoia or fear, just like fear of like being betrayed? All of that stuff came up for you, and it all sort of felt like a trick. And you get into January and you see it in hindsight, and you're like, why did I feel that way? Why did I let myself succumb to some of those fears or some of those tangents? And you see that it wasn't even a matter of like other people trying to betray you. But for some of you maybe it was, but I'm saying for the majority of people, there was a sense of being like way too over concerned or way too fearful of something that was just like playing a trick on you. You can feel like you were played a trick on, or you can feel vandalized in some way, actually, just in general in January after what happened with that December Mercury retrograde. And the fourth week comes in to heal those wounds and comes in to show you things clearly with clarity, because with the Magician reversed, like even though it can represent like maybe we're being lied to, or maybe we're lying ourselves, like maybe there's a tendency or desire to be dishonest, or a fear of being clear and transparent about something, fear of being judged, or fear of being betrayed, or fear of being guilted or something, whether you're lying or people around you are lying, or even if it's not even lies, it's just like a not understanding like what your power is about. The Magician upright is all about having your power in your hands, having all the resources you need to accomplish, feeling like you have everything you need to satisfy yourself and the people around you. And then when it's reversed, it's like a lack of that. We're like, okay, I do not have what I need. I'm not getting what I need. I'm not giving what I need or what they need. And we're really frustrated about that potentially. With Six of Wands reversed, I feel like a lot of you are taking this out on your appearance. So we're feeling self-conscious, or we're feeling like we're not attractive enough to be with this person, or we're feeling maybe they're not attractive enough to be with us. It can go either way, really. And this can spur like a big cycle here for you. Like 2019 does show Sagittarius becoming much more attractive and much more like glowing to people, but it's not through feeling bad about yourself, because you can be as attractive as you want. But if you feel bad about yourself, it's like an instinctual thing to other people. People try to avoid those who feel bad about themselves because it's instinctual. So really care to not succumb to self-esteem problems or self-deprecating tendencies in the fourth week, because it can become quite the cycle. Really try to be confident. Six of Wands reversed, being tried for your confidence, and even other people potentially being jealous of your confidence can come up during that time as well. And I feel ultimately in the last part of January that a new mission emerges to fix some of these like self-deprecating wounds or self-esteem wounds. It's not a natural thing for Sagittarius, and I feel like most of people would not even recognize you as that, because you come off quite confidently even if you're not trying. So you have to really embark on a mission, I feel, through February and the beginning of March after that, to like rediscover your self-confidence, to rediscover your image, and to introduce and implement healthy lifestyle choices that support the confidence that you need, that support you. Sagittarius is one of the most energetically consuming energy wavelengths. So yes, you need a lot of food, you need a lot of self-care, you need a lot of resources to fuel your energetic spectrum, because it's like a car that gets bad gas mileage, just because of how energetic you are, how fiery, how adaptable, how powerful Sagittarius energy is. It's like a huge engine, so it needs a lot of gas, it needs a lot of fuel, it needs a lot of maintenance to maintain that. And when Sag like succumb to eating disorders or anything that threatens the fuel that your body needs, you can see like major problems emerge. So new mission emerges at the end of January to start fixing anything relating to that, relating to where you're getting your energy from. We talked about energy sources throughout all of 2018. And yes, it is the new year in January, but we have until March before the astrological new year starts. So we're still in 2018 energy in January. So we've got these last little 2 months here and half month of March to really fix these issues regarding the energy sources. I love so much that strength is your central theme. Really incredible, really beautiful for you, Sag. It says to me that you have the resources to fix that problem. You have the gumption and the will and the grace and the tenacity to overcome anything that's really threatening you right now, and to not fear anything releasing or moving away, or new paths locking into place, and really trusting in the universe and trusting in yourself that you have the resources at your disposal, the wants, the desires, the energy to create a space in a life that is best for you, because that's been a struggle over the last year and over the last few years, actually, ever since Saturn went into your sign. So don't worry too much about it, Sag. You're going to be fine. The most important thing in January is to just not grasp too hard onto anything. Like, watch out for smothering people. Watch out for other people smothering you, not giving you space. Give others space. Give yourself space. But also don't like succumb to like strange urges that don't do anything for you. It's easy right now. All of your personal power depends and relies upon you following through on your urges, needs, and desires in a way that benefits you and in a way that promotes your own growth and strength. Everything has to be in a building effort of your strength, grace, and valor as a person. You know, your values, your virtues, all of those things are growing. So anything that threatens that, because Sag, you know, if you've become self-deprecating or if you've become self-loathing in some way, you can see yourself wanting to threaten your own security by, you know, succumbing to some type of urge that questions you or makes you question your own virtues and honor and values and stuff. Jupiter is all about philosophy, values, honor, virtue, stuff like that. So you have to really prioritize that right now and do what is in alignment with you and what is best for you and your loved ones, and hopefully that comes into harmony. I do feel like it can, but don't worry too much. You're strong enough. Don't worry about energy. Don't worry about strength. That's all going to come together, and it's going to come together through how you navigate this month and through how you make decisions and harness your own energy during this month. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. I have a lot of Sagittarius myself, so it certainly resonates for me as well. I'm wishing you so much love and light. If you haven't had the opportunity yet to subscribe to my channel, be sure to hit that with the bell notification on so you can get notified when your 2019 year ahead annual forecast comes out. They should be up soon after the new year, I hope. Also, be sure to check the description box below. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram. I am available on those social medias. Also, you can check out my Patreon page where you can get these readings early and ad-free. And there are also a host of other services that I offer there, which are exclusive to Patreon. And there's a lot of new stuff there coming in 2019. So it's a great time to sign on to my Patreon page. Crafting your 2019 is my motto for the year. So we're going to really focus on crafting and putting together the 2019 that we want. Again, it's not just a donation. It is a subscription service where you get, you know, services in exchange for what you're paying. And a lot of people use Patreon just solely for donating and support, which is wonderful, but you do actually get things in return for subscribing to my Patreon page. For only $5 a month, you can get these readings early and ad-free, as well as some really cool new things coming up in the new year. So check that out. That'll be in the center of the screen as well as down below. Much love, Sages. We will be talking soon. Bye.